Now, Mr. Love is always telling me that everything pertains to intelligence and common sense, which is not so common anymore. I want him to explain that. Most people look at intelligence and common sense different. He says there's two types of people in this world. There are entrepreneurs who create jobs and invent companies, and there are working stiffs who work that. Tito, do you care to explain all this philosophy to us? We're, neophytes.
There's a big difference between intelligence and common sense. Many people think because they go to college, which I told you before was overrated, that they're intelligent. Well, the professor you have might not be that intelligent. He might not be the best person to teach you that subject. A lot of them, once they get tenure, they don't care if you learn or not. That's the difference between high school and college. In high school, they're all over you. Well, they used to be in my day. Now today, when they're all over you, they have a sex crime or something. But what's going on with intelligence and common sense is this. I'll start with common sense. You have to live the life you live. You have to walk the streets of America and the world. Now, when I see TV and all these fanatics, that's not, television used to be on one channel or two. It used to go off at 11 o'clock midnight and they played the Star Spangled Banner and that was it. Today they have 1,000 channels, even all over YouTube. And they need to do negative advertising and negative interviews. So when you see these fanatics, these religious kooks or college idiots, that's not the real Americans. If you go around this country, and we've been to every state, and when we get lost, we ask someone, 3 people will try to help it. One person here or one person there will say, follow me, I'll take you there. Those are the real Americans. You'll find out between all the fluff that the real Americans living around this country are beautiful people, intelligent people. And what they learned in the street gave them common sense. Now, intelligence, I read a lot of books on everybody's race, color, creed, blah, 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 and all that stuff. I read it on, when we were in Minnesota growing up, I bought from the Viking Museum several Vikings and so on and so forth. So we know that the Vikings went down to Britannica, which England used to be called, and they had 10 different kings. There wasn't in England. And they raped and pummeled and this and that and bada bing. And what it comes down to is there aren't any pure races. Everybody's been everywhere. Everybody slept with everybody. Everybody's been attacked and so on and so forth. In the slave days, the masters with their slaves. Well, people forget, in the beginning, the slaves were white because that was part of their world. So every ethnic group has had a chance to be a slave. And what everybody wants to do is feel that they're better than the other person. In Spartacus' day, the Roman gladiators were better than the slaves of the house. The same way with the African Americans. The ones in the field were put down and the house slave would think he was white. But when it gets to it, it comes to this. You and I are red corpuscles in a heart, those of us that have one, and veins and so on and so forth. We're individuals who can make our own mind up. If you listen to other people, that's why my friends are old friends of my age and younger and still older. I know you don't know anybody who's living over 68, but my dad died at 90, his dad died at 95, his mother died at 103. We outlive our enemies to dance on your grave, and we're pretty good dancers. Hey! But anyhow, if you surround yourself with your mental equal, because birds of feathers flock together. If somebody doesn't like to dance or discuss things with their friends, then that's not the friend for you, and so on and so forth. You have to find, and it doesn't make any difference with race or religion or any of that. Groups can't be my friend. Let's get that straight right now. Groups can't be my friends. Individuals are my friends. And if you happen to be from another group, then I can meet someone in that group and have another friend, because I thoroughly dislike everyone the same. I despise them. If green and purple Martians came to this country, take for granted I despise them too, and I'll come back in a couple of days and choose a couple of friends from their group. It's individuals that make this world worth living. It's helping your neighbor to a certain extent, but no one's a fool because people try to take advantage. There are a lot of good people. Look at the lady that recently came back from Africa. She's white. She helped the Africans, and they checked her for Ebola. She didn't have it. Right away with their scare, they're making her a pariah, and she wouldn't take the crap, and I love that. And I always say, men are the hooligans and women have the class. Well, some women, because I've seen Sarah Palin and all the doofus goons in the world. I'm talking about real women. You see, there are a lot of little girls, but very few women. There are a lot of little boys, but very few men. However, there are more women than boys. And I can't understand the prejudice against women or the chauvinistic. Our grandmothers were women. Our mothers are women. Our daughters are women. Our sisters are women. And then we say, because Americans would put women in those black bathrobes they call burqas. But American women won't let them. And then I had friends, I don't want American women are garbage. I'm going to get exotic. I'm American. I'll marry a beautiful blonde from Sweden. Or I'm going to get an Asian. I promise you, right here, I'm looking at you, right here. Once your exotic creature gets off that plane and makes just one American girlfriend, your bowel movement is null and void. Your philosophy is shot to heck. That's the way I feel. How do you feel?